Hey guys, good morning. I'm greeting you according to the time that I'm filming this video. Welcome to my channel. My name is Jerusha Mombo. On my social media handles, it's currently 8 a.m. in the morning, so I want to spend the day with you. I wanted to start this video from here. Sorry I didn't post on Tuesday because so many things are happening. Given my injuries, there are things I'm not doing the way I used to do before, but some of them I still keep up with. So I want you to spend the day with me, not real so real and unfiltered, nothing for the video. I never do things for the video. I just do life the way the way as it is. So I want you to spend the day with me, a few days with me, maybe from here. Today is on a Thursday, maybe until Sunday. Yeah, so today I want to meal prep some of the meals that I want them to be on the menu today, the menu that I want it to be something that I want to be on the menu tomorrow, and then something that I want to be on the menu on a Sabbath. So I'll start today, and I want to write down whatever I want to have in the house so that I can send for them. Yeah, majorly that is what I want to do for now. Yeah, so I'm gonna write down what I want to get from the market. I know I look homeless, but do bear with me because with my situation it's so hard to go to the salon. But in any case, I'm always used to be like this. Let the scalp rest. You can't just keep pulling the scalp like you created yourself. So let's begin. I usually make coconut cream using the fresh coconut, so I always save this cream for the breakfast, normally for the kids or maybe me when I'm taking breakfast. So for today, I'm putting 2 or 3 spoonfuls of the cream, not the milk. Normally it's the cream that I make. Also we have the milk, but I opted for the cream so that we make it a little bit thicker. And this porridge is very nutritious. I've raised my kids with it and they really love it. And yeah, most of the time she does have that porridge. So I rested a bit and made lunch for her, which came in 3 hours later. I only made an egg and some avocado on the side. So I just made scrambled egg, little bit of salt, macadamia oil, and an egg, and that is it. So these avocados, I got them recently from home, and just a slice is enough for her. I normally portion their foods, and that is what they are used to. I don't give them a lot of food, so there's a certain portion that I go with every day. So this is what I'm giving her for lunch: a piece of avocado, little bit of 1 egg, and also some sauerkraut. Yes, they do take sauerkraut, especially this one. She really loves sauerkraut, so I put a little of the sauerkraut on the side, and she really enjoyed. Yeah, she feeds herself, and that is a plus for me. So guys, some of the groceries that I sent, they are here, and I got these potatoes. Honestly, these are the potatoes I like, and I love that he got them from the market. Normally I don't easily come across them. And then I got the spring onion salad. Yeah, the spring onions, you know, they come in handy with certain dishes. And also got fresh broccoli. Broccoli has been very, very, very expensive. Very expensive. I don't know what is happening, but regardless, I still get the broccolis. I can't stop eating the broccolis. I love broccoli. It's my favorite vegetables on earth. And then some mangoes, of course, for the kids. Yeah. And then tomatoes. Imagine these tomatoes are 100. Kidogo. If I went to the market, I could have gotten, I think, more. But ni kidogo sana for 100. A bell pepper, the yellow one and the red one. I wrote two of each. And then some onions. Imagine these onions are 100. I think it's fair. Yeah, for the onions, it's fair. And then some lemon. Yeah, I take lemon water a lot. So, but once a day. Yeah, some lemon for my water. Coriander. I needed that. And then for these managus, I wanted from the ones from the highlands. You know, the ones from the highlands, they are better. They are organic. These ones, I don't know, but I'll still cook them because they are here. But yeah, I'll just cook them. So this is what I got for today's groceries. And also I got some oxtail. Yeah, I sent for some oxtail. I'm used to saying I got. So I sent for some oxtail. I'm going to show you in a minute how I'm going to cook this oxtail. I have a ton of recipes in this channel about oxtail, but I always go for different recipes. I tend to change. I don't redo the same recipe. So whenever you come here, just know that we are not going to repeat the same recipe. So with oxtail, I trim off the fats. It had some excess fats and I don't like that, so I cut it into smaller pieces the way it is, you know, the way oxtail looks like. Yeah, and oxtail is one of those parts of the cow that is really delicious and has a different flavor compared to normal meat. Like every cut of meat from a cow, it comes with its own flavor. So I'm done cutting this, and this is what I'm going to do. I've shared the baking before, but not with my pot. Yeah, my pot can bake. It can bake anything, be it bread, be it anything. So this is a cow leg broth. I still insist that it is cow leg broth. It's not the broth from the bones. There's a difference when you make the cow broth, the cow bones, and when you use the cow legs. The cow legs has a lot of gelatin, like lot of collagen, but doesn't have fats. So that is why I go for it, because it doesn't have fats, honestly. So I've added in garlic, I've added in some onions, and also I've added some salt and some ginger. And then I'm gonna add in the oxtail, give it a good mix, and then we are going to put this inside the oven for like three hours. Yeah, 3 hours maximum for it to bake, like cook evenly as it gets the supply of it from the top, from the bottom, from the sides. There's a difference when you cook it like that and when you slow cook it on the jiko. You still get to slow cook it like this. So after that, I'm preparing my peppers. So I have here some chopped potatoes, just one potato, and then I have some garlic, I have some white stock spring onions, I have red pepper, I have the yellow pepper, and also I have tomatoes. I'm going to put inside this tray. It's meant to make bread, but it also came in handy when I wanted to use it to bake these tomatoes. And also sprinkle some macadamia oil. Let me tell you about macadamia oil. It has a very nutty, sweet taste. That taste is what keeps me going back to it. And then it's on the healthier side compared to other vegetable oils. So I've sprinkled some celery salt. You know, I recently made my own celery salt. And then I've put it in the oven. I want it to bake along with the meat, and then I shall do that later with something else. So this the tomatoes and the bell peppers are done. I just wanted a little bit of charness on them, like you can see that. You know, you can mash this down and use it on breads. Yeah, most of the fermented or the sour bread goes really well with that sauce when you mash it down. So let's check the meat. It's, I think, 2 hours in. Yeah, that is what we have. Those are the result. The bubbling is as a result of the bone broth, the cow leg broth. I have to leave that to keep cooking as I spread out my maize. I had run out of flour, and you know I'm a whole grain consumer. Yeah, yellow maize and sorghum come in handy, and I had to check this later again. I keep checking because yeah, I have to be sure on how my food is doing. You can see the supply of heat from bottom and from the top. Yeah, so this is done. I'm gonna blend this into a very fine paste, and that fine paste we're gonna add in spring onion. This is a game changer. When you add the spring onion leaves from the top and then blend, the flavors are, they are unmatched. You can't get this recipe anywhere. Honestly, I'm telling you, I claim this recipe 100% mine without any twist from anybody. So I've blended that. After that, I'm gonna pour in that one inside the oxtail just a little bit, because we don't also want to overpower the flavors of everything that is in the oxtail. We're gonna add just a little bit of that sauce in the oxtail, and oh my goodness, this one is very, very delicious. So I've added that. I'm gonna give it a good mix, return it so that it can draw the flavors of the oxtail for like 30 minutes before I get now to remove it completely from the oven. So I will return that and then let it bake for the next 30 minutes as I put away the rest of the sauce that is remaining, because there are other dishes later in the day that, not later in the day, maybe later in the week, that will require maybe that sauce. So I'm making the garnish, and for my garnish I'm using coriander. I'm using still the spring onion leaves. You know, when you sprinkle spring onion leaves on any meat, the taste is just amazing. See the thick sauce. You don't need spices all the time to flavor your food. You don't need to hide behind artificial flavors or artificial spices for you to achieve the good taste. Of course, the food will taste amazing. What about the health? The health needs. Like, why would you supply your body with artificial spices? So here we have the managu. I want to just steam them a little bit, some salt, so that we can balance the flavors all the way when we are making it with some tomatoes. So I've added water. I'm gonna cover this and let it cook for 5 minutes. Yes, approximately 5 minutes, so that we can still retain the nutritional benefit. So I'm just catching up on a movie because I've been just in the kitchen the whole time, and then now we start making our greens. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you pour in the tomatoes or the onions and the tomatoes at once. It depends on how you want to balance your flavors and how you intend to cook your food. So sometimes I can just throw in the ingredients like this, sprinkle the salt, and still the greens will come out very, very delicious. So I'm covering them so that they can cook using the steam on the lid, and then we're gonna pound that down like that and then add in the greens. You see, the greens have the green color, and they still have their nutritional or the nutrients that are needed from the greens. You don't have to overcook your greens, because if you overcook your greens, you are getting rid all the nutritional benefit that it comes with, and all you are remaining with is just fiber. See that oxtail? Honestly, it is the most delicious oxtail I've made so far of all my recipes about oxtail. So if you want to borrow this recipe, go ahead and borrow it. It's okay with me. So I'm making some bread. This is banana bread, but with a little bit of twist. The recipe also is different from the recipes I've made before. As I have said, when I come to you with the recipes, I tend to make another twist. Yeah, I still claim this one 100% mine also. So I'm pounding some bananas down. This banana bread was meant for the kids to carry to school. Yeah, so I'm adding in some eggs, like 5 eggs. Yeah, 5 eggs, and then I'm gonna give that a good mix. I normally love going for banana bread because I don't need to add any sugar into bananas, because the bananas already, they are very sweet, so you don't need that, so that we avoid consuming or avoid the kids from consuming the sugar. I've added some vanilla essence and also added some butter. You can use margarine if you want, but I prefer butter, so I melted it and I've added it inside. And then I'm gonna give that good mix. This is still my coconut cream that I did make, so I'm adding some inside, and then I'm gonna give that a good mix. You can use natural yogurt, but this recipe was meant to have coconut, yeah, in it. Some self-rising flour, which I'm gonna also top with oats, all oats, yeah, some all oats, and then I will give it a good mix. I still want to add some more ingredients so that we can make these this cake to be very, very delicious. So I'm adding some pumpkin seeds, some linseed, some cinnamon seeds, some cinnamon powder. Yeah, I'm gonna give that a good mix, and then I will bake it. Yeah, I love loading my banana bread with a lot of seeds so that we can reap off all the benefits of the seeds, or the benefits that that bread comes with, so that we don't just get the plain banana bread. And to, if you want to take something sweet and you still don't want to take something that sugar has been added into, just go for bananas, because bananas do release a lot of sugar when they are baked, so you don't really need to add the actual sugar into the banana bread. And I love the outcome. See that crack tells you all. It tells you that this definitely is delicious, and it's fully baked. And I'm gonna wrap this in with a cling film, let it rest until tomorrow, because this is meant to serve the kids as a snack to carry to school. And normally I make like snacks maybe 3 times a week. Yeah, I don't make it every day. When I make such a bread, I just keep some slices, and the rest they do carry to school, so that the rest of the slices can serve them tomorrow again. Just see that banana bread has been my favorite bread, but I stopped taking any wheat products. I just enjoy and love making it for my kids, and I love that I have to put in some things to improve the nutritional benefits of that bread. Yeah, so that is it. And this is later in the morning. It's around 8 a.m. I normally take my breakfast at 9 a.m. exactly 9 a.m. because I have developed the habit of planning my meals and planning my eating habits. So this morning, while I was preparing breakfast for the kids, definitely I was sipping on water, lemon water. Yeah, for now, let's make my breakfast. And I have washed these potatoes, and I decided to just let the skin stay, because this type of potatoes are so good when you just leave the skin in. Any potato you can actually leave the skin in, so long as you wash them thoroughly and you're able to get rid of the dirt, yeah, the hidden dirt in those small gaps inside there. So I'm gonna spread it on my tray, and I'm going to sprinkle some salt, some celery salt. Honestly, I love the celery and the aroma of the celery salt. I'm adding in some not paprika, some cayenne pepper for some spiciness, a little bit of macadamia oil. I love the nuttiness and the taste of macadamia oil. If you ever want to try and use macadamia oil, even in greens, it tastes so good. So I normally use macadamia in greens, in baking, it can replace olive oil. If you feel like olive oil is very expensive, you can replace it with macadamia oil, because it's not a vegetable oil. It's an oil that is from nuts, and it's 100% healthy. So I'm also boiling some eggs, because I want to balance my plate. I want to balance my breakfast. I just want it to have all that is needed. I stopped taking fried foods and opted to do baked foods. So whenever I feel like something that needs to be fried, I just go for baked foods. So I'm checking for the avocados to see which one is ripe, and that one is ripe. I soaked my onions in this water to reduce the sulfur. The water has the Melvin sea salt, which has very, very amazing aromas. I'm also cutting some coriander so that we can make a chumbari. This time I just peeled my tomato because when I bought those tomatoes, they had traces of, like, they were sprayed with some pesticides, so I wasn't comfortable by just washing. So the avocado, look at that. Oh, it's so creamy. So this is my breakfast, not all of it, of course. Some of it I'm gonna put away. And also I'm adding sauerkraut into my tomato salad because sauerkraut adds in some tangy taste and very, very nice flavors when it comes to this salad. Just a little bit is enough, and this is the breakfast. It's very nutritious. All the carbs, all the proteins, all, and even the salad. I ended up not cooking this rice. I just soaked it and then let it sit in the fridge later so that I can have plans for it tomorrow. So this is wild red rice. If you've watched me in the previous video, I've shared about that rice, and it's very nutritious. The glycemic index of the wild rice is very low, so you need to take things that have the lowest glycemic index, and I have chosen to go back to using whole grain entirely, not only on flours but entirely. So this is what I'm going to have for breakfast. I ended up taking this meal and I never took any other meal until the next day because it was so filling. I honestly wanted to speak about this recipe and not being braggy about it, but I'm gonna hold some words and let it just slide. But remember, I shared this recipe 3 years ago, removing the membrane and also soaking the liver in milk, like 3 years ago when I started my channel. So most of the YouTubers who used to follow me did use this recipe, and maybe let it be known. Yeah, so I'm not going to say much, but if you ever see this recipe even anywhere, even if it is somebody famous using it, just know that it came from here. So I'm removing the membrane. This time we are gonna change the recipe. We're gonna do a different twist which hasn't been done anywhere. Yeah, that one I know for sure. Nobody has done it, and this is the best of the best of the liver recipes that I've done before. I'm gonna remove the peel from the onions, cut the onions into smaller slices, and then I'm also going to use garlic. I'm using the safe ingredients that do go with other things that I want to use in this liver, so don't be scared to use that and feel like it's something that is going to harm you. So I'm dicing my onion into smaller pieces, transfer into a bowl. I'm going to also use some garlic, but if you have a lot of garlic, use more. I only used 1 clove for some reason. That is what I wanted. I made celery salt. Yeah, I'll keep repeating that because I made it from scratch, but it's the best salt that I've had around, and it goes well with so many dishes in my homestead. There are dishes that I don't use that celery salt, so I've added in the celery salt, some fresh milk that I reserved for that particular recipe. Normally I remove all the membrane from the liver. The reason for removing the membrane, sometimes the liver can be very chewy, and if you're serving the kids the liver, just remove the membrane and also remove the skin. Yeah, it's good, and also you get to enjoy. Also, another reason for removing the membrane is that whatever you're going to marinate it in, it gets to get all the flavors, or when you are cooking it, it gets to get all the flavors from whichever ingredient that you're going to use in the liver. One tip about the liver: don't use spices in your liver, most of the artificial spices. If you use those artificial spices, it's like you're hiding behind the artificial spices to get the good flavors in the liver. So I'm soaking this for 5 hours. You can do 12, you can do 24, but I went for 5 hours because it was on the menu for this evening, so I decided to just soak it for 5 hours. Actually, it went for even 6 hours, so this was the next day. Yeah, and then I covered it with a cling film and let it sit as we wait for the time. So this is the time. I've added some little oil in my pot. I'm using coconut oil, not macadamia oil. I'm using coconut oil. I intended to use macadamia, but because I want different flavors, actually I drained the milk, but I did not wash the liver. I drained the milk and left the onions and the garlic. I did not throw them away. So I'm just putting it as it is because I just drained only the milk. So I've just let it cook for like 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, I'm gonna turn it so that it can just incorporate all the flavors. And then I'm adding in diced tomatoes that I have removed the peels for some reason, and then little bit of salt on top of the tomatoes. Don't think I'm over salting it, so that the salt does help in softening the tomatoes. That moisture, it gets to soften the tomatoes. So I'm giving it a good mix to incorporate the flavors. Just see that you actually don't need to blend it. Not every meal wants blended tomatoes. So for this one, that is why I wanted the liver to just draw all the acidity and the tangy flavors from the tomatoes. I'm adding in coconut cream. Yeah, this one is a bit solid because I kept it in the fridge for more flavors. Remember, I started by using coconut oil, so I'm using the coconut cream to actually make the sauce a bit thicker. No water in this recipe. I haven't added any water. Every covering takes 5 minutes. The first covering takes 20 minutes. The second covering takes 5 minutes. And this, for the tomatoes, 5 minutes. For the cream, 5 minutes. On the side, I'm making some greens. And this green, they only have oil, which is macadamia oil. Steam them a little bit. This is actually sukuma wiki. I love sukuma wiki when it comes to meat dishes. So this is just sukuma wiki. I only steam it for 5 minutes and that is it. So we're gonna garnish the liver. I'm using spring onion stalks, the green part and the white part, and also some coriander here. You need those aromas and flavors. You see, this food is very delicious even for the kids because no spices is involved. If you want to use spices, you can use things like turmeric, but I didn't want to use any spices, and this is what we have. See that? I'm telling you, it's the most delicious liver you can ever have in your life. So I served with some ugali on the side and avocado, and that was it.